Hi, Assalamualaikum. We are from FOURZ. We are going to talk about Malaysian public awareness on climate change.
Climate change in Malaysia is currently becoming a conversation in the community. Research has shown that climate change is most affected by natural disasters and human activities. This study aims to investigate how Malaysians are aware of climate change. This report has been done through an online survey that was distributed to the community around Peninsular Malaysia and East Malaysia. Respondents were randomly divided into different backgrounds and qualifications. They were asked to respond to the survey about their actions to climate change. Building an awareness towards Malaysians are very important to make changes to the world we live in. Analysis of the responses demonstrated that the climate change was associated with air pollution, weather changing, and others. The results indicate that climate change does have an impact to the individual and their families and friends. In this survey, it is recommended that we need to help our Earth from becoming worse. Furthermore, the survey helps us to strengthen the issues about environmental changes.
Climate change is the price we pay to produce energy. Climate change is the changing patterns of weather across the globe. This is happening because of the release of carbon dioxide and various types of greenhouse gases into the air, resulting in long-term changes to the climate by the rise of the global temperatures. This is all started when the Industrial Revolution began in the mid-18th. Humans started to burn fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and gas to produce energy. However, not only we are producing energy, but we also release greenhouse gases, creating this greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect happens when greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide, build in the atmosphere that covers the Earth. This cover is supposed to absorb the sunlight and goes back to Earth to keep the temperature stable on Earth, because without the cover, the Earth will be ridiculously cold. Unfortunately, the extra greenhouse gases that human keeps on producing thickens the cover and now causing the planet to overheat. Climate change is the reason for the rising ocean level, ocean acidification, and extreme weather events. The aim to distribute this survey is to identify Malaysians' awareness towards climate change from various demographics such as gender, age, and education level, and at once to create awareness regarding this matter. The problem statement of this matter is the lack of awareness among the Malaysian public regarding this climate change issue, which result in the growth of greenhouse gas produced. Therefore, the hypothesis for this study is that the more awareness regarding climate change spreads, it will spark the acknowledgement to Malaysians on how climate change is very damaging to our world and will enthusiastically overcome this issue, as we can see from their response from the surveys. The significance of the study is that Malaysian public communities will be well informed of climate change and aware of any natural changes surround them. Then they can always be prepared to encounter all the disasters with minimum damages. Other than that, this study is based on the conducted survey that give significant impact toward Malaysian communities, especially that it will increase the level of awareness amongst Malaysians toward this climate change. Hopefully, this assignment or study will impact Malaysian communities positively, and together will give the best to avoid all the natural disasters that have happened to other parts of the world.
For the literature review, we have reviewed some of journals, books, and as well as articles in order to complete our research. The goal of this literature review is collecting general views about the environment and awareness about global environmental issues. Climate change is one of the most pressing scientific and political challenges of our time. Berkeley, Newell, 2015. With almost daily news report of climate-related disaster, international meetings, scientific findings, and various forms of protest, it is unsurprising that the issues is both at the top of the international political agenda and one of the significant public interest. Over the past 25 years, we have witnessed the perhaps paradoxical twin processes of growing scientific certainty about the causes and consequences of climate change, and rising concerns that the issues present an interactable problem for global governance. While the report from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change (IPCC) has built an increasingly alarming picture of the changes that increased level of greenhouse gases (GHG) in the atmosphere may precipitate, the international community has been slow to take proportionate action. As we can see, climate change is included in the most top 3 environmental issues that are being concerned with. Berkeley et al. Stated approaches to understanding climate change as an international problem commonly start with the fact that the atmosphere, in contrast to the world of states, knows no boundaries. Emission of GHG in one place at one time can have impact that stretch over time and space in complex way. Those who have made little or no contribution to the problem will also suffer its consequences, and often it is the most vulnerable who have the least capability managing climate change. From this perspective, it tells managing a problem of a resource held in common over which no one institution or actor has control. Climate has changed greatly over geological timescales. Pittock 2017. Climate is critical to the world as we know it. The landscape and the plants and animals in it are all determined to a large extent by climate acting over long intervals of time. Over geological, the climate had helped to shape mountains, build up the soil, determine the nature of rivers, and build flood plains and deltas. At least until the advent of irrigation and industrialization, climate determined food supply and where human beings could live. Based on the survey that we have conducted, among 53 respondents, there are 84.9% of people have responded that air pollution has ever affected their life, and 19.6% have responded that air pollution has ever affected the health of any of their friends or family. According to AB Pittock 2017, extreme weather events are part of the climate. Their impact is reflected in the design of human settlements and activities, such as farming to be able to survive floods, drought and severe storms and other weather-related stresses or catastrophes. It is because climate can vary from decade to decade, reliable average to the frequency and magnitudes of extreme events require weather observation over longer periods than the conventional 30 years. Engineers design infrastructure include buildings, bridges, dams, drains, and so on to cope with extreme weather events that occur on average only once in every 50, 100, or 1,000 years. The more serious the consequences of design failure under extreme weather conditions, the longer the time interval considered. For example, for a large dam as opposed to a street drain. Human health is sensitive to temporal and geographical variation in weather, such as short-term fluctuations in meteorology conditions and climate as longer-term average of weather conditions, said McMichael, Lindrum, Kovacs, Edwards, Wilkinson, Wilson, Nichols, Hales, Stenser, Seor, Singer, and Andronova 2000. The weather has not historically been considered as subject to alteration by human actions, although its effect may be lessened by adaptation measures. While adaptation is also a very important determinant of the health consequences of climate change, the effect of anthropogenic GHG emissions on climate means that climate change can be in principle be considered a risk factor that could potentially be altered by human intervention, with associated effects on the burden of disease. Many people concerned that it will affect their health and their future. According to McMichael et al., an additional challenges is that climate change occurs against a background of substantial natural climate variability, and its health effects are confounded by simultaneous change in many other influences of population health. In conclusion, the survey is an efficient way to gain people about awareness about climate change in Malaysia. We do need to keep and aware of this thing to keep healthy life cycle. Online survey research is that it takes advantage of the ability of internet to provide access to group and individual who would be difficult if not impossible to reach through other channels. Garton, Henny-Thorwaitt and Wellman, 1999.
In this study, our main aim is to identify the opinions and knowledge of people in Malaysia about climate change that is happening around the world. In this regard, we have provided a platform with a set of questions to identify respondents' opinions through Google Form. To get at least 50 respondents, we have uploaded our Google Forms to social media sites like Instagram, WhatsApp, and Twitter until finally we have reached 53 peoples. Based on the result we obtained from the Google Form, respondents were from both Peninsular and Eastern Malaysia. Most of the respondents were teenagers between the ages 16 and 24. More than 50% qualified in degree and equivalent. All of the information that our team receives is 100% through Google Form, which is respondents' answer. We do not use traditional method of a face-to-face interview, but only do online surveys. Google Form then help us collect statistics from respondents' answers. Our respondents' response were recorded and emailed directly to our team members' emails. Google Form also provided us with graphs based on the statistics we obtained from respondents, and among the examples of graphs that Google Form provided were pie chart and bar chart. The questions we provided are divided 4 sections, namely about you, which is biodata of respondents. Second, general environmental concerns. Thirdly, global environmental issues. And the last section is general view about the environment. Section 1. General environmental concerns. The first section of this survey from Google Form is to know which part they are most concerned about the environmental issues. Figure 1 shows issues that concern the most. Figure 2 shows effect of air pollution towards respondents. Figure 3 shows effect of air pollution towards family, friends. Figure 4 shows aware any other effect of air pollution. Figure 5 shows the other effect of air pollution. Figure 6 shows the experience of flood damage. Figure 7 shows the awareness of respondents toward changing weather. We move to the section 2, global environmental issues. For the figure 8, shows the respondents heard about climate change. The figure 9 shows where the respondents heard about climate change. Next, figure 10 shows how important to respondents. For the figure 11 shows what can be done to tackle climate change. Figure 12 shows us have respondents taken any action. Next, move to the section 3, general views about the environment. Figure 13 shows the quality of public transport. Lastly, we move to the section 4, about you. The last section of this survey is to know a little bit about the biodata of the respondents, such as genders, age, qualification, and others. Figure 14 shows the gender of the respondents. About 53.8% shows over half of our respondents were female, and the balance 46.2% is male. Figure 15 shows the range of age of the respondents. Figure 16 shows us the respondents' highest qualification. Figure 17 shows us the environmental organization.
In conclusion, this survey was really successful for our group to create awareness on climate change amongst Malaysians. It gave a big impact towards the respondents, as most of them were concerned about the environmental issues. The impact of climate change may influence physical, biological, and human system, which meant it made sea level rise, extreme natural phenomena, death of flora and fauna, and destroyed food production that can cause death, destruction, and loss of economic livelihoods. The survey resulted 66% of the respondents have heard about climate change, which most of them stated that it came from the pattern of weather changing, air pollution, and others. 27 out of 50 responses showed that climate change was important to their life personally because they want to manage their life schedule. Moreover, one of the respondents' suggestions was we need to stop using single plastics as much in order to reduce pollution. For the activities that can tackle climate change were by walking or cycling to work and buying organic food that can protect their health. Besides, most of them indicated that they use public transport and turning off their lights when not using were to save money. Other than that, by recycle glass, other items, and take part in a campaign about an environmental issue can protect the environment. Lastly, from the survey, it was agreed that we can all do our bit to reduce the effects of climate change. It was also approved that the government should provide incentives for people to look for the environment. Experts were also agreed that climate change was a real problem for the world nowadays. That's all from us. Thank you.